Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about this article from the CBC. I've seen this a couple other places, including Yahoo News. Federal government open to new law to fight pandemic misinformation. So they're talking about creating a law to fight misinformation online about the pandemic, COVID-19, conspiracy theories, basically people like me who have an alternate view of what's actually happening. Not allowed to have that. You got to go with the government's view, the mainstream media's opinion, because they are gods. And well, first off, CBC itself is actually a crown corporation. This is actually operated and run basically by the government. It's a corporation by the crown. The crown is actually considered the government. And it's paid for by taxpayer money. So I don't know if everybody understands that or realizes that, but the CBC is actually paid for with our tax dollars. So we're actually paying to be lied to by the CBC and misinformed and all the other garbage they do. Not the only country. They also have the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation in England. Same crap there. So we've got the CBC here, the BBC in England. Other places probably have the same nonsense going on where taxpayer money is basically used to spread propaganda and bullshit. So it says here, one of the several measures the government is considering to counter fake news about the virus online. And let's just read this. So here it says the federal government is considering introducing legislation to make it an offense to knowingly spread misinformation that could harm people, says Privy Council President Dominic LeBlanc. So what the hell is spreading misinformation that could harm people? Is a video like this talking about what the government's really doing? Is that spreading misinformation? So the first thing I did before I started getting into, I read the article and I wanted to see who exactly this guy was, Dominic LeBlanc. So I did a quick search of Dominic LeBlanc and I just typed in corruption. I'll show you this right now. Dominic LeBlanc and corruption. I don't know why that word came to my head, but I typed it in just to see, because a lot of politicians are corrupt. And there you go. There's a bunch of articles talking about how he broke conflict of interest rules, ethics complaints, and so forth a couple years ago and last year as well. Let's just see some of this stuff just to show you the kind of people who want to stop misinformation, but then meanwhile these people are corrupt themselves. They're involved in litigation and having issues because of their own ethics, and they're worried about people like me who are just researching online and posting videos showing what's really going on. So it's kind of funny and kind of sad in a way that these people are able to run our government. Meanwhile, there's some of the most corrupt people in Canada. So it says here, he broke conflict of interest rules by approving a lucrative surf clam license set to go to his wife's cousin. So here it says he was a former fisheries minister, Dominic LeBlanc, same guy who's running the Privy Council for to stop the disinformation or whatever, misinformation of COVID-19. He says he broke conflict of interest rules early this year, awarding a lucrative license to fish for Arctic surf clams to a company that was set to be run by his wife's cousin. Just a coincidence, guys. He didn't mean to do that. He didn't know his wife's cousin actually owned a fishing company, and he didn't know that it was going to work out in his favor, but it did. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. I'm sure he didn't make any money off of that. So basically, he's still in the government, though. Now he's basically running the show here, warning us and wanting to create laws so we stop the misinformation of COVID-19. He's there to protect you. He's just there to protect you guys. He's not there to enrich himself, or he's not involved in any kind of corruption or anything like that. Not him, no. So this is the guy here, Privy Council President Dominic LeBlanc. So he's going to tell us right from wrong. Meanwhile, he's involved in his own problems himself. And we're supposed to trust this guy because, well, he's the ruler and we're just the serfs, we're just the slaves, right? That's just how it works. And it's so easy to find this information, it's ridiculous. All this information, you do quick Google searches, I find this stuff in seconds. And people just bow down to these idiot scumbags. Why? Because they're the government. So they go on to state here, extraordinary times require extraordinary measures, and it's about protecting the public. These people are Just insane. Makes me just sick. This is not a question of freedom of speech. This is a question of people who are actually actively working to spread disinformation, whether it's through troll, bot farms, whether it's state operators. What is that? What's a state operator? Russia, China. They're there to get us. The Russians are going to wreck our elections. The Russians help Trump get elected, right? Or whether it's really conspiracy theorists, cranks who seem to get their kicks out of creating havoc. Unbelievable. That's where they really want to target. What they're trying to do here is they want to control the narrative. They don't want you to listen to anyone else except their news information. They don't want you searching online and finding out what's really going on or a different perspective on the same topic. They want their perspective to be pushed everywhere. They don't want you listening to anyone else, and that's all this law is about. Yes, it is a question of freedom of speech. It's a direct attack on freedom of speech, and that's what it's all about. They always talk about the fake news. Meanwhile, CNN is still up and running. And have you ever listened to their broadcasts in the last year? It's ridiculous. It's all it is their opinions. They have no facts. They don't show you any real articles or any real information. Everything is based on nonsense BS. So this is pretty funny. So it goes here. More recently, said Collins, the misinformation has shifted to conspiracy theories about what triggered the pandemic. Claims that it was cooked up in a lab, for example. A conspiracy theory claiming the disease is caused by 5G wireless signals prompted attacks on wireless towers in the UK. Now, I don't know if it's involved in 5G. I've never actually looked into that. But why can't people have their own opinion? Everything's dangerous. Oh, we have to protect you and all this other stuff. And I want to talk about this. They're talking about it's a conspiracy theory that claimed that it was cooked up in a lab. I did a video about this already, and the thing is, there is a lab in Wuhan, China, level 4 lab, working specifically on the coronavirus. So, like, seriously, what are the chances that there's a level 4, a high-level security lab working on those specific coronaviruses in Wuhan, China, and that's exactly the place that it outbreaks? But no, we're supposed to believe this all occurred from, what do they call a wet market, where they sell live animals, including bats and dogs and all this other stuff. And that's where it came from. So this article was from April 15th. Today it is April 16th. So just yesterday. And already, it's just funny when they come up with these stories. Like, oh no, it wasn't created in a lab. You're a conspiracy theorist. So we have to stop your free speech. We have to create laws because you're spreading misinformation. You're going to harm the public. Let's go see exactly what they're talking about today on the news about where this virus came from. It's hilarious. These people are just bloody jokes. So here on the National Post, first of all, they talked about this. What day is this? I think it was February I found out. Let me just see where the hell it says that though. February 6, 2020, so 2 months ago. The cave full of bats in China identified as source of virus almost identical to the one killing hundreds today. So if you go through the article, they're basically blaming all the bats from this cave in Wuhan, China. So then we go today, April 16th, and then they're talking about the Wuhan disease lab is a focus of suspicious and conspiracy theories about COVID-19's origins. A plausible, if unproven theory is that the coronavirus has had natural origins but leaked accidentally from the Wuhan Institute of Virology lab. Like, these people are not even like journalists, and they don't even hide it. Like, they're calling it a conspiracy theory, but they're saying it's plausible. Well, if it's plausible, don't call it a conspiracy theory, because yes, it is plausible. If they have a virus lab in Wuhan, China, is it not possible that it leaked from there? It seems a lot more possible that it leaked from a high security virology lab than it did from some BS bats. And the thing is, are we supposed to take China at face value and trust what they're telling us? Has the Chinese government never lied to us? They're already stating their economy is up and running. They're stating that there's no more deaths in China. Meanwhile, everywhere across the world, there's still deaths. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I don't know which one it is, but I don't really believe China. Do you? So the National Post, they came out with this article. I'm sure it's all over the place. I've seen it in a few different places. But they're saying that facts are admittedly ripe for a conspiracy theory. So they're kind of stating basically that the conspiracy theory could be right, that it did come from a lab. And it probably will be proven to be come from a lab. Obviously, that's what's going to happen. It'll just take a little time to emerge, but it will happen. So that they say they have the unproven theory that the virus had natural origins but leaked accidentally from the Wuhan Institute of Virology lab. Well, how about the virus coming from bats in a bat cave in Wuhan, China? Isn't that an unproven theory too? If this is possible, maybe it did come from a cave, or maybe it didn't. Maybe it did come from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Which one do you think it came from? Logically speaking, it makes a lot more sense for it to actually come from a lab where they're playing around with these deadly viruses and it possibly leaked. Purposely leaked or unpurposely? I don't know. I think it probably did. They did it on purpose myself. So here's even saying it's still much more likely that the germ emerged naturally from the environment, but it's possible it could happen, he said, of a laboratory leak. So I don't understand. So they're basically, we'll go back to the article again. These guys want to stop misinformation, conspiracy theories that it leaked from a lab, but then all of a sudden here in the National Post, they're talking about it is possible that it leaked from a lab. So which one is it? Are you gonna stop the misinformation of the National Post then and all other mainstream media news organizations that are posting this information? Isn't this dangerous information? Isn't this gonna harm the public that they find out that it came from a lab? Isn't the National Post considered a conspiracy theorist now, and every other news organization that's gonna be posting this article today, and it's gonna be all over the news today? I've already seen a lot of different articles talking about this. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. So when it breaks down, let's go back to this article. What they're really trying to do here is they want to control the narrative. They want to make laws because they want to stop your freedom of speech. That's exactly what they want to do here. They don't want people like me posting these videos and showing you, hey, take a look at this. Take a look at this. It could have came from a lab in China. It's okay if the National Post and other news organizations like the CBC post this information, but if I do it, I'm not allowed to have my speech. I'm not a news reporter, so I'm not a journalist, so I'm not allowed to say anything that contradicts what the government and mainstream news organizations are putting out there. I'm not allowed to do that. Neither are you, so you better not, because there's going to be laws in place for people like you and people like me. So here's another news organization, The Province. The U.S. is trying to find out if the coronavirus came from a Wuhan lab. Well, I thought that was a conspiracy theory. So these people, so is this considered misinformation from our friend here? What's his name again? Dominic LeBlanc. Is this considered misinformation, Mr. LeBlanc? Are you going to actually set laws in place so the province is not allowed to report on this, or is it just guys like me sitting here in my house posting YouTube videos? I'm not allowed to do that. So here they're stating part of it, saying that it indicates the coronavirus likely occurred naturally as opposed to being created in a laboratory in China, but there's no certainty either way. So they don't really know either way. So is it a conspiracy theory to even talk about this? And Fox News reported on Wednesday, that was yesterday, that the virus originated in Wuhan laboratory, not as a bioweapon, but as part of China's effort to demonstrate that its efforts to identify and combat viruses are equal to or greater than the capabilities of the United States. Once again, I don't know all the answers, and the news doesn't know all the answers, but common sense kind of makes it seem like if they have that. Let's just go here. I'm going to type in Wuhan, China lab. Wuhan, China lab virology. Here's the Wikipedia page. I've already done this. I did a video on this before, but I just want to show you again. So here it says, so basically it is the mainland China first bio level 4 laboratory, and it says here it's a bio level BSL, or pathogen protection level, is a set of biocontainment precautions required to isolate dangerous biological agents in an enclosed laboratory facility. The levels of containment range from the lowest biosafety level, which is level 1, to the highest level, which is level 4. And this, my friends, this lab here is a biosafety lab level 4 laboratory, which started in 2015. So this is the highest level in China, and guess where it is? In Wuhan, China. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm so crazy. Where's my tinfoil hat? I forgot to wear it today. It's in the wash. Makes no sense. And this information is widely available. But once again, the news is not there to inform us. It's there to spread disinformation, misinformation. But once again, you go back to this article. Dominic LeBlanc, who's not much of an honest person, in my opinion, giving contracts to his wife's cousin when he was fisheries minister. He's the guy who's going to protect us from misinformation and disinformation. So that's just fantastic. We put all our trust into this guy to stop fake news about the coronavirus and any theories that might exist, because I'm just a tinfoil hat retard living in my mom's basement or whatever, right? It's just, if it wasn't so dangerous that they're trying to enforce these laws, it would be laughable. But these people are bloody dangerous. They're taking our free rights. We're locked in our houses. We're not able to work, not able to pay our mortgages, because they've locked down all of society for something that was probably either created in a lab or leaked out of a lab. But they don't even want us to think about that. They don't want us to blame China. I got nothing against the Chinese people, but the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, why wouldn't they be involved in this? Of course they're involved in this. Did they leak it on purpose? I don't know. But what are the chances? Maybe they did leak it on purpose, and we don't know that, but they probably did. So if we're going to trust someone like Dominic LeBlanc to protect us from fake news, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. This guy's got his own problems now. He's the head of the Privacy Council regarding the coronavirus. Makes no sense. Anyone can see that. Anyone can search this stuff up. These are the people here to protect us. Unbelievable, really. And they call us cranks creating havoc. Meanwhile, they've locked down our society. Meanwhile, we can't go anywhere, and we don't know when we're going to be let out of our houses. All because of a virus that killed a low amount of people, even less than the regular flu that kills people every year. They never went so hysterical every single year when people died of the regular flu, but this year, the world's going to end. And their models, the projection model showing the death rate and how many people are going to die are not even close to what they said they were going to be. Even Dr. Bonnie here in British Columbia, they stated that, if we don't watch ourselves, or I think she said that we're going to look like Italy, we have to give it 2 weeks. Well, that 2 weeks has long since passed, and we're still locked up in our houses. The death rate is not going very high at all. And we're still here, locked up. When's it going to end? And then they're going to protect us from the conspiracy theorists. Thank you very much. So back to this news article. Gonna repeat it again. The reason they're trying to crack down on people is they don't want free speech. They don't want people uploading videos. They don't want people sharing our opinions on Facebook, on Twitter. All of those different technologies are used to spy on us and gather data about what the general population thinks about certain things. They use it for advertising purposes as well. They target your interests and so forth. The whole thing is just a big spy mechanism. But if we try to share any real information, they don't want that. They want us to post cat pictures and videos of your kids learning how to bike ride or whatever the bullshit is. They don't want you spreading real information because we're cracking through their narrative. They want to be able to control what you see and what you hear. And they've lost that capability since the internet came online in the late 1990s. They want to get it back, but the cat's out of the bag, and they're never going to do that at this point. Even if they try to censor everybody, there's other websites where everything's censorship free. BitChute, bitchut.com is an alternative to YouTube. You can upload videos there. They're not going to get deleted. They can't stop this. The internet is out there. It's done. But they're going to keep trying. They're going to call people this and call people that because they don't want you to listen to anything else. They can do whatever they want. They can keep crying wolf. No one trusts them anymore. I don't trust them. Do you? I don't trust the news. I don't trust the government. Why would I? They've lied so many times, and they're there just to control us and deceive us and manipulate us. It's the same BS over and over, generation after generation. But in this generation, we actually have an opportunity to break free from all our garbage because of the internet. Back in the day, we didn't have free forms of communications. When I was growing up, there was only like 10 different channels. There was no internet. So if you wanted to know what the hell was going on, you had to watch the news, but it was all lies. Yes, you could go to the library and find some alternative information, but it was much more difficult. Now you got everything on your phone. Search things up in seconds. Use your own judgment to see if you believe the information or not. Now at least we have options. The conspiracy theorists are giving us options. Thank God. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully it didn't ramble too much, but I just wanted to show you that this whole free speech, this whole law that's they want to create to fight pandemic misinformation, do you think it's going to be specifically just for this pandemic, or is it going to be for anything else that they want to use down the road? Obviously, once that law is passed, they can use it for any type of what they call misinformation or stopping the narrative on anything. Once the law's in place, it's over. So we always have to question why they're doing this. Are they really doing this for our benefit? No. If they want to shut down information, close the internet. But they can't do that. They would love to do that because then they wouldn't have to worry about everyone breaking through their lies in minutes now instead of months or years in the past. Now it's like as soon as an article's up, I can break it all down, show you exactly how they're lying, show you who's running that lie, and have all the evidence and proof, and you can make your own decision. If you think I'm a crackpot idiot, good for you. You have your right to an opinion. But not in this day and age. They don't want you to have that right because they want to control what you see and what you hear. But it's over for them. And the cracks are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. They will not be able to stop the free flow of information. It's never going to happen. It's a done deal. The laws will not work. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching this video. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Share this video all over social media. I do appreciate it. And thank you so much. Have yourself a fantastic day. And together we will get through this nonsense and this garbage. Overblown hype of a common cold flu that kills people just like every other flu kills people. Thank you so much.